Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. This story is about, what if Naruto never put on a mask? If you enjoy watching my videos, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to never miss out when I post videos. Let me know down in the comments if you want more parts of this series. With all that said, let's start the video. Currently, it was 6 a.m. and one Naruto Uzumaki was in his kitchen, making breakfast for himself. I know for sure Sakura didn't listen to me, but what about Satsuki? I think I'll bring 2 spare apples for those fools. Naruto stepped away from the frying pan for a second and took 2 apples out of a basket and sealed them in a storage seal. A couple of minutes later, we find Naruto eating his breakfast. I wonder what kind of test Sensei's gonna make us do. It might be a test consisting of bells your team has to work together to get. When I was inside your mother, I saw your father do this test to Kakashi Brat's team. Kurama replied. Good morning to you too, Kurama. I think I've heard of the bell test before. Didn't Gigi tell me a story about him giving the bell test to the Sannin? Well, from what I've heard about the bell test, the team needs to work together to get the bells, and the one who does the worst gets tied to a log. In Shika's words. How troublesome. Well, I'll go do my morning warm-up, and reach the training ground around 7:40, 20 minutes before Kakashi arrives. An hour and a half later, at training ground 7 we see an irritated Satsuki trying to ignore an irate Sakura pacing around. Where are those 2? Sensei told us to be here at 5 in the morning and ditch breakfast. It's nearly 8 and there's no sign of them anywhere. Sakura fumed. Calm down, Sakura. I'm annoyed too, but it's not like yelling is going to do anything. Satsuki replied sternly. Sakura just huffed in response. Whoosh. Both Sakura and Satsuki turned their heads so fast, a crack could be heard, to find Naruto in his usual attire with his hands in his pockets. Yo! Naruto said calmly. Naruto baka. Where have you been? Sakura screeched but surprisingly made no move to bonk him. She must have learned her lesson, Naruto mused. Is Sensei here? Naruto asked as calmly as before. No, Kakashi-sensei isn't here yet, Satsuki replied this time, in a gruffier than usual voice. Then I'm not late, Naruto said with an obviously fake eye smile, making Satsuki sweat drop and Sakura get a tick mark, but the 2 could not deny his logic. Did you 2 eat breakfast? He asked. Both shook their heads. Baka. Did you forget what Kakashi-sensei said? Sakura asked him with a snort. Well, either way, it's dumb not to eat. You perform best when you eat a good meal, Naruto said before tossing Satsuki a scroll. Channel some chakra into the scroll, and toss. One to Sakura, he continued. Satsuki raised an eyebrow but complied nonetheless. In a puff of smoke, 2 apples appeared in her hand. Satsuki gave him an appreciative glance and bit into one while tossing the other to Sakura, who looked worried. Are you sure we can eat these, Naruto? She asked in a hushed voice. Browse just in community forum beta's story search. anime/manga/anime/Naruto/anime/Naruto/ Plus. Nope. It's a leap of faith, Sakura. I don't know at all. He replied. Sakura scowled at him but ate the apple anyways. Kakashi mentally applauded Naruto from his hiding spot and chose this moment to appear. Whoosh. Kakashi appeared in a swirl of leaves, which made Sakura choke on her apple. Satsuki widened her eyes and Naruto raised an eyebrow. Naruto, why'd you eat and give these 2 food? Kakashi asked sternly, but inwardly he was jumping for joy. It seems Naruto would be a catalyst for a good team. Naruto shrugged. These two fools blindly follow the rules instead of reading between the lines. You suggested for us not to eat, not ordered us. Besides, you said we weren't real genin yet, so either way you had no permission to order us. Either way, I wouldn't have listened to you, Naruto replied cheekily. Kakashi, I smiled. Good job for reading between the lines. It looks like all the reports were wrong about you. You're a lot more observant than I thought. He said cheerily, before Sakura could try to bonk Naruto on the head for being a cheeky motherfucker. Sensei, what's the survival test we're doing today? Satsuki questioned, breaking Kakashi out of his musings. I'm glad you asked, Satsuki. Kakashi said with his trademark eye smile, before pulling out two white bells with red strings, and dangled them. You three will be trying to take these bells from me before noon, Kakashi said, while strapping the bells to his waist and setting up a timer. And placing it on top of a log. But sensei, there's only 2 bells. Sakura said / asked. Very astute observation, Sakura, Kakashi snarked, raising snickers from the other two, and Sakura blush in embarrassment. The one without a bell will be tied to the log. And we'll be eating our lunches in front of said person. This person will also be sent back to the academy. Kakashi said with his eye smile. All three widened their eyes at this. So that's his game, was the common thought. Well, let's begin, you three, Kakashi said. All three vanished from their positions, Kakashi being an elite jonin easily spotted all three of them, but they didn't need to know that. With Naruto. Naruto was watching Kakashi stroll around from his hiding spot. Before I devise a plan, I'm going to test Sensei's skills. And try to see his weaknesses with a Kage Bunshin, he mused. Naruto created a shadow clone with a half-ram seal. A shadow clone shunshined into existence, rather than with a puff of smoke. The shadow clone rushed Kakashi from behind and immediately threw a heel kick at his chin. At speeds that made Kakashi pay attention. I was hoping to read my Aika but it looks like I'll have to take him serious, somewhat. Kakashi dodged the kick, and retaliated with a swipe at his chest area. Naruto ducked the swipe and threw a left hook at Kakashi's jaw. Which he knew Kakashi could dodge, so followed up with a kick to the ribs. Kakashi dodged the hook, having noticed it easily, but was thrown off by the kick. How unpredictable. This would be easier if I could use my Sharingan. But this is good for me. Anyways, Kakashi thought. Stumbling a little, but backflipped twice, adding some distance, and grace, between the two of them. You're good for your age, but not good enough for me yet. Kakashi said while rushing Naruto at low chunin speeds. The two of them exchanged blows, a left kick for a right heel. Spin kick. A dodged punch to the jaw, a kick to the cheek, and various more blows. Naruto was getting tired of this back and forth, so did something a little flashy. He was going at high genin speeds, but when Kakashi was in his flow, and his guard was still a little down, Naruto accelerated to high chunin speeds, catching Kakashi off guard big time. He hit Kakashi with a punch to the stomach, followed by a reverse kick to the chin, and dashed to a stumbling Kakashi. He did a handstand, and started attacking Kakashi with his legs, a kick to his jaw. Followed by a jab at his chest, finished with an uppercut at his chin. After the little exhibition, Naruto backflipped 3 times, landing in his stance, smirking at a now lightly bruised Kakashi. Wow, Naruto, I'll admit I'm very impressed. You're incredibly fast for your age, in fact. Your fighting style kind of reminds me of the 4th Hokage, Naruto. He fought like you did, agile, ruthless blows and moved with a grace that you possess, Kakashi said, hoping Naruto would catch the hint, but he wasn't lying. Naruto truly reminded him of Minato Sensei's taijutsu. The graceful blows, the precipitated movements were something he's only seen in two people. The compliment made Naruto widen his eyes. Right. Sensei was Tuchan's prized pupil. I'll have to tell him that I already know of my heritage, after this. He beamed at Kakashi. Thanks, Sensei. It means a lot to me. He spoke excitedly. But it's over, Kakashi said seriously. He rushed Naruto at Hokage speeds, so fast that Naruto himself didn't register Kakashi move. He feigned a blow to Naruto's left rib, and shunshin to Naruto's other side, and chopped him in the neck, making Naruto dispel. Kakashi widened his eyes. So the real Naruto's even stronger. Heh, I don't expect any less from Minato-sensei's child, he thought with a smirk. With Satsuki. Satsuki was shocked, to say the least. She deduced long ago that Naruto was stronger than he let on, but she had no idea that Naruto was this strong. From her point of view, the battle was mostly a blur of silver, green, black, and blonde. She was really shocked when she saw Naruto do the handstand move, and immediately realized his plan, of downplaying his true speed, then accelerating to catch Kakashi off guard, and smirked. She didn't hear what Kakashi said to make Naruto widen his eyes, and was intrigued. She's never seen Naruto show that much emotion since he dropped his facade, and wondered just what made Naruto show so much shock. Then Kakashi disappeared to Naruto in nothing more than a small blur. And chopped Naruto in the neck, making him dispel. Solid clones? She thought, puzzled. She shook herself out of her musings, after absent-mindedly noticing an opening where Kakashi was standing. She hoisted a couple shuriken out of her pouch and threw them at Kakashi. Without even turning, Kakashi caught the shuriken in his hand, making Satsuki curse. I did nothing to him, and now he knows my location. Damn it! She thought. Yo! She jumped when she heard a male voice in front of her, and noticed Kakashi with an eye smile, standing behind her. He chuckled at her expense, and waved at her. Satsuki narrowed her eyes, and gave him a death glare. She rushed Kakashi immediately, and threw a kick at him. Much slower than Naruto, but fast in her own right, he thought as they parried blows. Suddenly, Satsuki backflipped and went through hand signs at speeds that would make most beginner chunin jealous. When she ended on the tiger hand seal, Kakashi widened his eyes. Genin aren't supposed to know fire ninjutsu. Kakashi thought aloud. I'm not like the others, Satsuki retorted confidently. She's arrogant, but she's got the strength to back it up, Kakashi mused. Say that once you get a bell. Besides, Naruto was way faster than you, Kakashi said, with a little mirth in his tone at the end, making Satsuki grit her teeth. Me and the dobe are nothing alike. Satsuki angrily yelled. She inhaled greatly, and spoke. Fire style, great fireball jutsu. And blew a huge stream of fire. She smirked confidently when she noticed Kakashi get enveloped by the flames. Serves him right for comparing me with him, she thought. Wow, you're better with fire jutsu than I was at your age. She heard. She looked around the area where Kakashi came from. Left, right, above. Below. She heard, and a split second later, a hand emerged from the ground and grabbed her ankle. Earth style, headhunter jutsu. Kakashi called, and pulled her down. A minute later, she saw Kakashi walk up to her. Well, looks like you're not much different from the other two after all, huh? He questioned with a teasing tone, making Satsuki fume. Well, I'm going to go find someone who won't waste my time. Ja-ne. He called out, with a lazy wave of the hand. After Kakashi left to go find Sakura, a swirl of purple flames materialized, startling Satsuki, and Naruto stood, hands in his pockets. Yo! He called lazily. Satsuki blushed, noticing she was in a tight spot. I think I figured the test out, Naruto called to her. Well, obviously, we need to get the bells, she snarked at him. Naruto sighed. What was the first lesson we learned at the academy? Naruto calmly questioned her. Look underneath the underneath? She replied, wondering where this was going. Right, and I think that the bells was a cover-up to the real test. I believe Kakashi pit us against each other, and threatened to send one of us to the academy to fix our mindsets. In a battle royale position. A classic but clever psychology trick. We should work together, along with Sakura, to get the bells, and if I'm wrong, I'll sacrifice myself so you two can advance. Naruto requested. Satsuki sighed, and complied, but only because Naruto said he'd sacrifice himself if he wasn't right. He helped Satsuki out of the hole, and told her his plan. She had to admit, it was a good plan. With Sakura. Sakura was also surprised by Naruto's skill. She realized he was smarter than he let on. She wanted to ignore it at first, and pretend it was a fluke. But after he introduced himself, she really couldn't. Naruto was strong. Much stronger than her. Stronger than Satsuki. Stronger than Kiba. She was getting a reality check of sorts, and realized Naruto wouldn't be worshipping her anymore, or showering her with compliments. Which hurt for some reason. Sakura. She heard. She looked behind her. She saw Kiba, making her smile a megawatt smile. He flashed her a hearty grin, making her blush. I've come to save you, Sakura. She heard him say, and a moment later. He was stabbed multiple times by a barrage of shuriken. Kiba widened his eyes in shock, and she had a horrified expression on her face. Kiba Kun. She screeched out and ran over to him. He coughed out blood, and she cradled his head. After noticing his eyes went lifeless, and his body felt a tad bit colder, she burst into tears. She was sobbing hard, when she felt a chop to her neck. She turned around, and the last thing she saw was a look of disappointment from a masked jonin, before she fell into a black abyss. Kakashi sighed. Was I too harsh? He wondered. He shunshined over to the log. 20 minutes left, He mused. He leaned on the log, and pulled his Ika out, and started reading it, while subconsciously scouting for dangers. With Satsuki and Naruto. Naruto was running to where he sensed Sakura's chakra signature was, Satsuki flanking him. They sighed when they noticed tear stains on her face, and her body limp. Naruto shook her awake, and she fluttered her eyes, before her face took on a horrified expression. Whatever the fuck happened to you, it was a genjutsu, Naruto said impatiently, and bluntly, making Sakura slump in disappointment for falling for such a basic trick. Listen, there's only one way we can get the bells from a jonin, and it's by working together, and me and Satsuki have a plan. You in? He asked her. She weakly nodded, having no better idea. Great, we got 15 minutes, so listen up. With Kakashi. Kakashi looked at the clock. 10 minutes, till the clock rings. He felt a spike of chakra in the air, before noticing a gigantic fireball coming his way. He widened his eyes, and used a quick substitution to get out of the way. The moment he landed, he came across Naruto. In mid-chunin speeds, they parried multiple blows, absent-mindedly noticing Naruto was aiming at his face, but paying no heed to it. Naruto and Satsuki both attacked him at once, and their teamwork was good, for people that have never worked together before. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't laughable either. Kakashi was actually sweating a little, not being able to use his Sharingan. Or ninjutsu was a bit difficult against two Chunin-level shinobi, even for someone of Kakashi's caliber. He felt his danger senses scream at him to dodge, so he backflipped, giving himself some space, and saw a barrel of shuriken spike where he was just standing, a moment earlier. And paled. He turned around sharply to face the direction of where the shuriken came from, and saw Sakura smirking at him. Sakura kept throwing kunai, after kunai, and shurikens at Kakashi, while Naruto and Satsuki were going for hand-to-hand combat. Ring! Kakashi, I smiled. Well. You three worked together, but it looks like you failed, Kakashi said, keeping the eye smile on his face. He raised an eyebrow when he noticed Naruto. Smirk. Oh really, sensei? Naruto asked in a sweet tone, and dangled the bells loosely. Kakashi's lone eye widened, Sakura gasped and Satsuki smirked. Kakashi frantically patted himself down, and gasped when he noticed there were no bells strapped to his waist. What? But how? When? Kakashi asked. Naruto smirked again. Flashback, moments earlier. Kakashi felt a spike of chakra, and widened his eyes when he noticed a gigantic fireball come his way. While he was putting his book away in the pocket facing opposite of the bells, Naruto appeared out of the flames, with the Maisegakure no Jutsu, and a coat of chakra laced around his body, to protect himself from the flames. He cut off the bells from Kakashi's waist with a kunai, and let them fall into his hand. Naruto shunshined out of the fireball. A second before it dispersed. Flashback end. Kakashi was jumping for joy on the inside, but played it cool outwardly. Well, I'm impressed. The three of you worked with each other very well. Sakura, you attacked from long range while Naruto and Satsuki attacked me from close up. Congratulations, the three of you pass. Meet me at the mission's office tomorrow at 8 a.m., for our first mission. Sakura had a huge smile on her face, Satsuki actually smiled for once, instead of smirking, and Naruto looked calm as ever. But you could see a glint of self-satisfaction in his eyes. Both Sakura and Satsuki left, leaving Naruto and Kakashi. When Kakashi was about to leave, Naruto spoke to him. Hey sensei, I wanted to speak to you actually, Naruto said. Sure, what is it, Naruto? Kakashi asked calmly. What you said about me fighting similar to the fourth Hokage. Did you really mean it? Naruto questioned, making Kakashi freeze, and his eye widened. There's no way he knows. Kakashi cleared his throat. Yes, Naruto, I was being serious. I was the Yondaime student after all. So I would know. Thanks. It's nice being compared to my two-chan already. Naruto said with an eye smile, and Kakashi's eye widened even more, if possible. Don't worry, I found out when I was 6. Being a genius has its perks. Hokage Gigi already knows. He said. Which Kakashi nodded curtly to. I'll tell you all about your parents sometime, Naruto. They were truly wonderful people. After my father died, they practically raised me. Kakashi spoke softly. Naruto's eyes watered a little. Arigato, sensei. I'll see you tomorrow. Naruto said. Before disappearing in a swirl of purple flames. I need to ask him to teach me that custom shunshin, Kakashi thought, while walking back to report his success to Hokage-sama. 1 month later. Scarecrow in position, over. Ice Princess in position, over. Cherry Blossom in position, over. Dazzling smile in position, target locked, over. No response. Asterisk sigh asterisk whiskers in position, over. Asterisk snickers asterisk great, stage 2, acquire target, over. Naruto vanished, and grabbed the daimyo's wife's cat. It started screaming, and swayed its legs. So Naruto chopped its neck, making it go limp. Target acquired, over, Naruto said through his mic, great, is the earpiece over its left ear? Over. Hi, the earpiece has been confirmed, over. Great. Mission, capture Tora is a success. Hokage's office. Team 7. Looking for a new mission, Hokage-sama, Kakashi said calmly, still reading his Aika. Alright, let's see, cut the weeds, paint the fence, Hiruzen said. Slowly. Hokage-sama, permission to speak? Naruto said with a small bow. Yes, go ahead. Naruto, Hiruzen said with a raised eyebrow, still not used to the respect. I request a C-ranked mission, Hokage-sama, but Iruka was quick to butt in. Hell no. You three are still rookie genin. You need more experience before you can take on a crank mission. Iruka said aggressively. Iruka-sensei, I understand, but what better way to gain experience than to go out in the real world? Besides, it can be useful in preparations for the Chunin exams, Naruto said. Calmly. But Iruka was about to retort when Hiruzen responded. It's alright, Iruka. They have Kakashi with them anyways. Alright, this will be an escort and protect mission. Send him in. Hiruzen called out. A moment later, a tanned man walked in. He had a gray outfit on, glasses, a straw hat, and a sake bottle in one hand. These are the runts that are supposed to protect me? I ordered for ninja protection, not a group of brats. The pink one doesn't even look like a ninja, he said in a gruffy voice, making her scowl at him. Cha. Who does he think he is? Her inner consciousness questioned. Kakashi, I smiled. Don't worry about it, sir. My name's Kakashi, and I'm the leader of this mission, and I assure you my students are fine. The man shrugged. Whatever you say. My name's Tazuna the bridge builder, and I expect you to protect me with your lives. Tazuna spoke. Making all four nod. Alright, Team 7, get your stuff ready, and meet me at the gates in an hour. Kakashi spoke, and the four of them vanished. Teaser, a couple of chapters later. Whiz. A kunai whizzed through the air, making Genma jump, and narrowly dodged the kunai. He scowled in the direction it came from, and noticed the kunai, but realized it wasn't a regular kunai. It was a tri-pronged kunai. Genma, along with Mikoto and all the seniors widened their eyes to comical proportions when they noticed this, and let their jaws hang. Not a second later. A flash of yellow left as soon as it appeared, and Naruto Namikaze stood there in all his glory. He was not wearing his eyeliner, and his hair was spikier than usual, with two thick side bangs. His eyes were narrowed in cold chips, a permanent glare fixed on his face. He had a really dark blue long-sleeved shirt, with matching pants and a shinobi pouch tied to his right thigh along with black shinobi boots, but that wasn't the eye-catcher. He was wearing a white high-collared haori that went down to his knees. It had bright red flames licking the bottom and sleeves. On the back were the kanjis for Dio Senko, God. Flash, in red. His arms were crossed, coupled with his cloak flowing in the wind made him look incredibly powerful, with an aura that only one person had before, looking into his eyes would make even the toughest war veterans flinch. All of the Konoha 12 were awed by his entrance. Nothing could top that in the flashy department. Wow! Naruto looks so hot. Ino fawned, making Satsuki glare daggers in her direction, which Ino ignored. Chapter 5. Naruto arrived at the village gates at 9:45 a.m. with his classic outfit on, bandages wrapped around his head, like Ashura, and his hitaite tied to his waist. A couple of minutes later, he sensed Satsuki, Sakura, and Tazuna coming to the vicinity. And after exchanging brief greetings, waited for Kakashi to arrive. Not too long later Kakashi appeared with a leaf shunshin, and after signing out of the village they left. "Naruto," Sakura began, making Naruto raise an eyebrow at her. "Why don't you have a bag like the rest of us?" she asked. Naruto took a scroll out of his pocket and dangled it. "I have all of my stuff put in this scroll. This way I don't have to bother carrying anything." Sakura awed at that, and they started walking in silence after that. Well, that's what some of them believed. Naruto was having an internal argument with a certain furball. If you paid close attention you could see his eyebrow twitching every couple of minutes. "You brat. Why don't you listen to me? You have a perfect chance to kill the Screecher and you won't take it." Kurama shouted in exasperation. "Because it's pointless and stupid. I'm trying to prove to everyone that I'm not a monster, so if I kill her what good would that do? I'm not going to kill Sakura, you dumb furball. Now drop it." But she's loud, screechy. The moment someone mentions that mutt boy she drops all logic and believes he is Kami on Earth and she's a burden. Then she'll train and get stronger so she won't be a burden. "Could it be that you want to pursue the vixen?" And Naruto could practically feel Kurama's smug expression, but refused to explode. "Ah. You should have just said so, Kit. You know I can help you with that," Kurama said with an evil grin. He loved pranking his host. "Wait, Naruto started, but suddenly his hormones went haywire and his mind was overloaded with thoughts of Sakura in a skimpy bikini. Naruto turned completely red in the face, whether from anger or from blushing will never be known. "That's itu furball. Back to the cage for you," Naruto yelled at the top of his lungs, making everyone's head whip in his direction. Naruto, not knowing he said it out loud, just turned his mindscape, which was previously a large forest, into a tiny cage again, making Kurama whimper. He smirked victoriously until he noticed everyone staring at him. Naruto blushed in embarrassment and scratched the back of his neck. "Hee, did I say that out loud?" he said sheepishly. Browse just in community forum beta's story search. Anime/manga/anime/Naruto/anime/Naruto/. Plus. Satsuki and Tazuna raised eyebrows at this. Sakura nodded and Kakashi narrowed his eyes, knowing what Naruto meant by furball, but before he could privately ask Naruto something, he sensed chakra a couple of 100 feet away. He glanced at Naruto, who looked back at him wearily and knew Naruto sensed it too. They both had one thought in mind. Genjutsu. Naruto suddenly smirked and Kakashi raised an eyebrow, wondering what Naruto had in mind. "Hey guys, gimme a second. Gotta take a leak," Naruto said. Kakashi gawked at him, wide-eyed. The others just nodded at him, oblivious to what Naruto was really planning. Naruto skipped over to the pond, and took his leak where the demon brothers were. Right after he tied his pants back up and washed his hands with a water bottle, the demon brothers materialized from the pond, and if looks could kill Naruto would be dead. Thousands of times over. "You brat. You peed on us on purpose, didn't you?" snarled Gozu, making the others snort, and Naruto looks at him innocently. "I have no idea what you're talking about, sir," Naruto said. Meizu threw his chain at Naruto, who dodged it easily. "Sakura. Guard Tazuna, Naruto, Satsuki, you two take Gozu, I'll take Meizu," Kakashi ordered quickly. Everyone nodded and got in position. Naruto and Satsuki ran at Gozu. Naruto knew this would be a good opportunity to test the Hiraishin, but he had to do it discreetly, and while Kakashi toyed with Meizu. Gozu threw his chain at Satsuki, who narrowly dodged it, and climbed up the chains to kick him in the jaw. Naruto glanced around. Sakura and Tazuna were watching Kakashi, and the three of them were faced backside to Naruto so they wouldn't see. He hinged his tri-pronged kunai into a regular-looking kunai, and saw Satsuki was on the ground. She was pushed back by one of Gozu's chains. Naruto took this moment to throw two kunais. One was a regular kunai that he used to pretend he kawarimi'd, and not Hirashined. He narrowed his eyes, and in that split second, where no one was focusing on Naruto or Gozu, he threw one kunai an inch next to Gozu's head, and the other a little away. In a yellow flash, he disappeared and reappeared behind Gozu, twisted his body, and knocked Gozu over at the side of the head, and substituted with the kunai that landed at the tree with a thud. Satsuki and Gozu were a little confused. Being so close, and it didn't really look like a substitution but passed it off as a really fast one. He twisted his body again and kicked Gozu with a roundhouse kick to the chin, knocking Gozu out. With Kakashi. Kakashi ran at Meizu at Haichunin speeds. He was too lazy to try. But he wanted to get this over with quickly. As funny as Naruto's little stunt was, he wanted to use that moment to determine whether they were going after Kakashi or Tazuna. Now he'd have to interrogate these two the hard way. He was toying with Meizu, dodging his chains narrowly. He looked at Naruto for a second, since he didn't really need to pay attention to this B-rank missing nin. He saw Naruto glanced around and raised an eyebrow, wondering why. He wanted to investigate a little further but had to dodge another one of those pesky chains. Right before he knocked Meizu out, he could have sworn he saw a tiny yellow flash out of the corner of his eye, and snapped his head in that direction so fast, while knocking Meizu out cold at the same time. He saw Naruto give Gozu a roundhouse kick and cursed. He would pry Naruto until he told him what it was. Kakashi could have sworn he saw the yellow flash return, but he wouldn't question it now. A couple of minutes later, Gozu's eyes fluttered open, and he immediately notices he can't move his body. He sees that his body and Meizu's are tied to a tree, with chakra binding rope, and cursed inwardly. "Ah, finally awake are we?" He hears a voice and looks at where it came from. He spots a man with a green flak jacket, a mask covering his face, silver hair, and a Konoha Hitayat covering his left eye. He also sees a blonde-haired boy, a raven and pink-haired girl standing next to his target, a 45-year-old drunkard. "Well, we can do this the easy way, or the hard way. Why did me and my students?" Kakashi asked, leaking a little killing intent. Gozu started sweating but glared at Kakashi anyways. "Fuck off. I'm not telling you shit." Gozu swore. Kakashi sighed. Why is this mission so troublesome? He thought, making two lazy Naras sneeze. Demonic illusion, hell viewing technique, Kakashi thought, making a view hand signs. Immediately, he starts screaming, and after a couple of awkward and uncomfortable seconds, the man spoke. "Okay. I'll talk. Make it stop. Please." Gozu screamed. Kakashi I smiled. He dispelled the genjutsu and clasped his hands. "Excellent. How about you start now?" Kakashi cheerily spoke. Gozu glared daggers at him but spoke nonetheless. "A man named Gato of Gato's Magnate Company hired us. He wants the bridge builder dead so Gato's monopoly isn't ruined. We were supposed to rendezvous with Zabuza Momochi and report back to Gato." Kakashi I smiled. "Thanks for the information. It'll be useful. Now the ANBU should arrive in an hour or two. Have fun." "Wait," Gozu said, making them stop. "You, Blondie." How'd you know that there was a genjutsu under the pond? Naruto rolled his eyes. A random pond on the ground, during a sunny day, where it hasn't rained in weeks. Very astute, Naruto snarked at Gozu, making Satsuki giggle slightly. She decided Naruto could be rather funny, as long as his sarcasm wasn't directed at you. Naruto was drawn to Satsuki's melodious giggle for a second, before shaking his head, wondering where that came from. They left afterwards, paying zero attention to Gozu swearing and Meizu slowly waking up. Time skip, a couple hours. Tazuna explained his situation to Team 7. Right before Team 7 versus Zabuza Momochi. Naruto heard some rustling from the bushes, and threw a kunai at where he heard, alerting everyone else, and he saw a rabbit stumble. Naruto. How could you? It's just a poor bunny. Sakura screeched. Sakura, shut up. We're ninja. If you can't kill a bunny, how do you expect to kill real people in the future? He asked her, making Sakura pale, but Kakashi was focusing on something else. The rabbit's fur is brown, the only time that happens is wintertime, meaning the rabbit is domesticated. That means its purpose is substitution. And as if on cue, he heard whirling. Everyone duck. Kakashi screamed, he ducked, pulling Tazuna down with him. Sakura ducked instantly, and Naruto pulled Satsuki down, making her blue sh slightly. Why is the dobe so warm? Wait. Why am I even thinking of that? She thought, unknowingly turning even redder. Thud. A large cleaver, known as the Kubikuribocho landed, cleaved to one of the trees, and Zabuza walked to the tree and plucked his blade out. The man stood over the area with his sword in hand, over his shoulder. In all his glory. Well, well, well. Kakashi of the Sharingan. No wonder the demon brothers lost so easily, Zabuza spoke in a gruff voice. All three genin had various reactions to that. Sharingan? What's that? Sakura wondered. Sharingan? But how? I'm the last Uchiha alive. Other than him, Satsuki wondered, her thoughts turning dark at the end. As for Naruto, his eyebrow just twitched in irritation, knowing that Kakashi was taking all of the credit, even though he took Gozu down with the Hiraishin. Zabuza Momochi, demon of the hidden mist, A-ranked Nuke Nin. Wanted for attempting to murder the Yondaime Mizukage, Kakashi said with narrowed eyes. Looks like my reputation precedes me. Zabuza said in a mock-surprised tone. Listen. I'm really not in the mood for this, so how about you just hand over the old man and I'll let you and your brats live, Zabuza offered. Sorry, but we won't be abandoning our first real mission, Satsuki replied with a smirk. Ha! They're a bunch of rookies too. How pathetic. Zabuza taunted, making her seethe. Naruto, Satsuki, Sakura. You three guard Tazuna, Zabuza is above your skill level. Naruto knew there was no use complaining, so he, Satsuki and Sakura did a manji formation around Tazuna, albeit reluctantly. Kakashi lifted his headband revealing a three-tomo Sharingan, making Satsuki widen her eyes. Naruto cursed. He knew now there was no way he could risk using the Hiraishin with Kakashi's Sharingan now active. Suddenly, a large mist covered the entire area. Killing intent plastered all over the place. Tazuna, Sakura, and Satsuki were shaking, hard. Kakashi and Naruto were fine. Naruto was used to killing intent from Kurama's indimitation lessons, and Kakashi since, well, he spent over 10 years in ANBU. This level of killing intent does nothing to someone of his caliber. A ghost-chilling voice shook them to the core, however. 8 vital points: liver, lungs, spine, clavicle, jugular vein, brain, kidneys and the heart. Any of these areas struck too deeply makes a one-hit kill. Which one shall I aim for? Satsuki started shaking, hard. I can't do this anymore. Satsuki thought, slowly bringing a kunai to her throat. Naruto put his hand on top of hers. She snapped her neck to him. And widened her eyes when she saw him flash her a smile. I won't let any of my teammates get hurt, Naruto said softly, making Satsuki blush. Naruto didn't notice her blush but Kakashi did, and I smiled. Naruto knew they were in a tight spot, whilst Zabuza taunted them some more and came up with a quick plan. Futon, Toppa, Naruto thought and immediately cleared out the mist, getting a scowl from Zabuza and an appreciative glance from Kakashi. Kakashi and Zabuza ran at each other, thus the battle began. Kakashi and Zabuza traded blows, and eventually, Zabuza was getting tired of Kakashi's Sharingan keeping Zabuza on his toes. Zabuza skidded back after getting by Kakashi and started weaving hand signs at high Jonin speeds. The tomos of Kakashi's Sharingan spun a little and glowed before stopping again. Kakashi's hands twitched for a second and he started pulling the same hand signs as Zabuza. Was Water Style, Water Dragon Jutsu. The two of them yelled at the same time, and out of the river, two large water dragons sprouted, glowing yellow eyes glaring at each other. And collided in a substantial explosion of water. Using this as a distraction, Kakashi ran at Zabuza at his top speed and slashed at Zabuza, before Zabuza turned into a pool of water. TSK, Mizu Bunshin, Kakashi thought out loud. The real Zabuza smirked and shunshined behind Kakashi. Before slicing at Kakashi's head, making his smirk widen for a second, before turning into a snarl when he noticed Kakashi collapse into water. Your pesky eye copied my jutsu, didn't it? Zabuza asked angrily, while Kakashi replied with an eye smile. Kakashi threw a kick at Zabuza who had no problem dodging it by ducking, hitting Kakashi with the blunt side of his blade at the same time making Kakashi rocket back. Too slow. Zabuza mocked. Water Style, Water Prison Jutsu. Zabuza shouted and had Kakashi trapped in a bubble of water. Pfft, Zabuza scoffed. You three are pathetic. By the time I was your age I already had tons of blood on my hands. Until your faces are in my bingo book, you aren't real. Shinobi. What do you mean? Sakura stuttered out. He's talking about how he became a shinobi. 15 years ago, a child who wasn't even in the academy yet killed an entire graduating class single-handedly. Kakashi continued, horrifying Sakura and Satsuki. It sure was a fun day. Zabuza said in a mock-sheer tone. Naruto used this moment to rush Zabuza at Chunin speeds. He punched Zabuza in the stomach, but it didn't do much. Zabuza turned around fast and attempted to cleave Naruto's head but Naruto jumped on top of Zabuza's blade and kicked him in the chin, making him stumble back. Don't attack Zabuza, Naruto. Take the client and run. Kakashi yelled frantically. No way. Wasn't it you who told us those who abandon their comrades are worse than trash? Naruto retorted. Kakashi had a flicker of pride in his eyes for a second, before sighing and relented. Naruto did a half-ram seal and said, Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, out loud. 3 shadow clones flickered into reality and ran at Zabuza. Suetun, Mizurappa. Zabuza said, and a large gust of water flew out of Zabuza's mouth to Rush the blonde genin. Naruto substituted with a nearby rock and moved out of the way. He created 30 shadow clones to Rush Zabuza and he shunshined back to Satsuki to tell her his plan. With Naruto. Satsuki, I used those clones as a distraction but I think I have a real plan to trick Zabuza. Naruto said. Satsuki snapped out of her stupor and for once acknowledging Naruto as the leader, she asked him what his plan was. He unsealed a folded Fuma shuriken from a scroll and handed it to her. She glared at him and he just looked at her firmly. She reluctantly took the Fuma shuriken. But the second. She felt it in her hands, she widened her eyes and smirked. Naruto smirked back at her before shunshining away. With Zabuza. Zabuza had just finished the last handful of clones when he noticed the black-haired brat running straight at him with a Fuma shuriken in hand. Zabuza's danger senses screamed at him and he dodged a barrage of kunai at the last second, making him drop his hold on the water prison, freeing Kakashi. He saw Satsuki do a chakra-enhanced jump and throw her Fuma shuriken at him. He scoffed at her and grabbed the Fuma shuriken with his hand. As if it was a boomerang. Naruto smirked and threw a shuriken at Zabuza, who rolled his eyes. Still not good enough to hurt me, brats. Suddenly, Zabuza heard a poof behind him and widened his eyes. He whipped back and saw Naruto grinning at him. Naruto threw a barrage of shuriken at Zabuza who narrowly dodged them, but a couple hit him anyways. Kakashi shunshined in front of him and Satsuki. Excellent plan, you two. Distracting Zabuza long enough to trick him and make him cancel his technique, Kakashi complimented. TSK, I lost concentration for a second and cancelled the jutsu. Don't get cocky, you were forced to let go of it, Kakashi glared. It's over for you. Zabuza. Kakashi spoke before weaving hand signs. Suetun, Daibakufu no Jutsu. Kakashi spat out a literal water vortex, and it spanned to Zabuza at incredible speeds. The vortex hit Zabuza head-on, who had no time to dodge it and he was slammed into a tree and left, dazed. Can you see the future? Zabuza asked wearily. Yes, and your future is death, Kakashi said, making them all sweat drop with his corny lines. He was about to finish off Zabuza with a kunai before a couple of Senbon needles struck Zabuza in the neck making him pass out. They instantly went on guard, when they noticed a hunter-nin jump out of the bushes. You were right, his future is death. The person said. Kakashi walked forward, and checked for Zabuza's pulse, finding nothing. If that is all, I will take this body back to Kiri. The body holds many secrets native to the mist and we would like to decipher them before getting rid of his body. And with that he disappeared in a water shunshin. Well, if that's all Kakashi started before falling unconscious. Kakashi-sensei. Sakura yelled. Don't worry. It's probably because his body isn't used to the Sharingan. You can ask him about it later, Naruto said, when he noticed Satsuki narrow her eyes at the mention of Kakashi's Sharingan, and she nodded. Tazuna, how far is your house from here? Naruto questioned. While making 3 shadow clones to carry Kakashi. Not too far, it's about 15 minutes. Tazuna replied, alcohol long forgotten. Alright, you take the lead, we'll trail you, Naruto replied. Tazuna nodded, and they walked to Tazuna's house. Time skip, 30 minutes later. Kakashi's squad was sitting in Tazuna's house, after they introduced themselves to Tsunami, Tazuna's daughter. Kakashi was resting in a room, Sakura was watching over Kakashi. Satsuki was looking out the window. Tazuna was sitting in a corner drinking and Naruto, despite Tsunami's protests, was helping her with dinner. I'm home, a yell was heard, making everyone's head snap in the voice's direction. A boy walked in through the door, making everyone look at him. The boy had spiky black hair. He was wearing a white bucket hat with blue stripes and green overalls over a white short-sleeved hoodie. The boy looked like he was glaring at everything, but his eyes brightened when he saw his grandfather. GG. The boy exclaimed and hugged his grandfather. Hello. Inari. Tazuna chuckled, ruffling the boy's hair making Naruto crack a small smile at the heartwarming scene. Inari, greet these shinobi here. They protected your grandfather while he was on his way here, Tsunami said with a tender smile. Inari just scoffed at the claim. It doesn't matter, Gigi, they're going to die anyways. he continued, making Tsunami and Tazuna frown. Naruto's jaw dropped. He wondered why he would say something so depressing. Satsuki didn't take it too well though. You don't know that. You brat, Satsuki said with a little anger in her voice. Satsuki, don't argue with kids, Naruto admonished her, making her turn her head. Dinner went quietly, Kakashi finally waking up and confirming everyone made it back to Tazuna's house safely. After being given a pair of crushes they had dinner quietly, except for Tsunami thanking Naruto for helping her with dinner, making him nod at her. Next morning. The next morning nothing much happened, until during breakfast Kakashi spoke. We need to start training to kill Zabuza again, he said seriously, making everyone's eyes widen, except for Naruto. I reached the same conclusion as you. Naruto said calmly. Making Kakashi I smile. What are you two babbling about? Zabuza died 2 days ago. Remember? Satsuki said with a light glare, Sakura nodding frantically. Actually, Zabuza probably isn't dead. The weapons that the hunter need were Sunbon needles. Those are used in acupuncture to put people in near-death-like states, which is why I felt no pulse coming from Zabuza. Kakashi remarked. Plus, Kiri hunter need are supposed to cut off the head and burn the body immediately. Naruto commented. Good observations, Naruto. With these facts we can conclude that Zabuza is very much alive. Kakashi spoke. And Satsuki and Sakura had to agree with them, it made sense. Isn't it possible you're overthinking it a little? Tazuna questioned nervously. He did not want to face that man again. No. When a ninja senses something wrong he must act on it. Kakashi said firmly. But what are we going to do, sensei? Now that Zabuza knows our skills it'll be easier for him to beat us. Not to mention that fake hunter need is probably Zabuza's accomplice. Naruto asked wearily. What do you think? Kakashi said, clasping his hands together. I'll train you 3. Of course. Kakashi declared with an eye smile. Besides, Zabuza will need around 1 week to fully come back to life. By then, I'll be completely healed and we can fight those 3. Sakura, you'll be guarding Tazuna. Naruto and Satsuki will take on the fake hunter need and I'll fight Zabuza. An hour later, training fields. Kakashi stood with his crutches in the plain field. Standing opposite of Kakashi were his 3 students, Satsuki, Sakura and Naruto. What are we learning? Sensei? Naruto asked with a flat tone and an extremely bored look on his face that made Kakashi's eyebrow twitch. Well, my cute little genin, Kakashi started and moved directly behind a tree. You 3 are going to be learning how to climb a tree. Naruto rolled his eyes. Sakura and Satsuki stared at him in confusion. But sensei, we already know how to climb trees. Sakura questioned. He means with no hands. Naruto interjected before Kakashi could reply. Seeing the questioning glances Sakura and Satsuki sent him, he sighed, and walked up the tree. With no hands. Satsuki and Sakura widened their eyes, and Kakashi half expected this. Wind manipulation requires precise chakra control. Honestly, Naruto huffed, you can launch fireballs, turn the ground into mud, make literal duplicates of yourself with chakra. Why wouldn't you be able to walk on trees? Naruto sarcastically questioned, making the 3 of them sweat drop. When Naruto snapped his eyes open, they were red with slits, scaring everyone and putting Kakashi on guard. Look at you, bitching about your life, Naruto whispered, yet everyone heard him perfectly. Tsunami and Tazuna were shocked that someone so kind-hearted held so much fury. Telling me I don't know how hard my life can be. Naruto started. At this point Inari turned pale with fear. Naruto stood up abruptly, and Sakura, despite being scared shitless, tried to stop him. "Naruto, that's uncalled dash," and immediately shut up when Naruto directed his gaze and wrath at her. "Shut up, Haruno," he repeated, making her nearly start shaking with fear. "You sit here at your house, with a grandfather who's trying his best to bring hope back to your country and a mom that cooks for you, and cares about you. I didn't even know who were my parents were until I turned 6. Were you kicked out of the orphanage the moment you learned how to stand on your 2 feet? Were you beaten and hated because people thought you were a demon in human skin? Were you attacked nearly every day? There are people younger than you who have it much worse than you ever have." His voice taking a demonic edge at the end, and he had a dark contentment in seeing everyone pale at him raising his voice, even Kakashi. Even though his tone was aggressive, his actions were anything but. He gently pushed his chair back and walked out the door. He stopped but didn't turn around. "I'm working some of my anger off. Don't follow me," Naruto said in a blank tone. "Kakashi-sensei," Sakura said after a moment. "Naruto was making that up, right? None of that really happened, did it?" "You're right, Sakura. None of that happened," Kakashi said with an eye smile, making everyone release a breath they didn't know they were holding. "That was the sugar-coated version," he replied, keeping his eye smile, making the others widen their eyes in horror. With Naruto was seeing red. He couldn't believe the nerve of that kid, telling him he had no idea about suffering. Naruto created 400 shadow clones. Mass Battle Royale, anything is allowed, keep the jutsus below B rank though, Naruto said. The clones all gulped. Not even Naruto himself wanted to face his own wrath. He ran at the clones with the intent to cause mass havoc. He drove through the clones like butter. Most of them stood no chance against Naruto, but a lot of them got lucky hits on him, like scratches on his cheek with kunai, or punches to the chest, but he never stopped running at them. He launched a massive fireball into the sky, and the clones backed off before firing water bullets and lightning pillars at him. The real Naruto drove through him a little, and there were currently 250 left. The clones all started attacking Naruto with the intent to kill. Naruto attacked the clones, before flaring his chakra, pushing the clones back. The sky turned gray and clouds covered the sky. Naruto went through a couple hand signs: tiger, rat, horse, monkey, dog, dragon, ram. He lifted his left hand and suddenly it was coated in lightning. It started raining lightly, and Naruto pulled his arm back, making the clones take a step back, some in weariness and some in anticipation. "Raiton, Kirin," Naruto said. And a large chimeric creature materialized from the lightning in the sky. "Kirin, scatter." Naruto pushed his arm back and pointed at the clones. The Chilan roared and dispelled, before materializing again and launching itself at the clones. All Naruto saw was a large blue flash, before instantly all 200+ clones dispelled. The puffs of smoke coupled with all the debris and smoke in the air made it nearly impossible to see. When the dust cleared out, Naruto gawked at a massive crater in the ground. He couldn't believe that this was his creation. Those were his last thoughts before he fainted, the darkness overtaking him for the night. Next morning, a girl, who looked to be in her mid-teens, she had silky black hair that flowed to her chest. She wore a light pink cheepao and carried a basket. She was walking to the forest so she could collect herbs for her master, humming a soft tune. She stared wide-eyed, openly gawking at the massive crater in the ground. She noticed a boy in the middle. He looked sort of cute, she deduced. Then she recognized him as one of the shinobi that were fighting Zabuza. She could easily kill him right now, to prevent complications later, and she walked over to him. She walked over to him, reaching out slowly, her hand making its way to his neck, before she blinked and he was gone. "I wouldn't do that if I were you," she heard from behind. Before gasping and turning around sharply, she saw Naruto staring at her with a bored gaze, but it felt like he was staring into her soul. Little did she know, he was having an internal conversation. "Kit, I'm certain it's her. This is the fake hunter from yesterday. I recognize her scent," Kurama said to Naruto with narrowed eyes. "I reached the same conclusion you did. I can see from her posture that she's ready to flee in a moment's notice, even though she's pretending to be a civilian. I'll play along for now, though." "What are you doing here?" Naruto asked in a blank tone. "I was collecting some herbs for a friend." "He's sick, you see," Haku told him softly. "Ah, well, I kinda destroyed the forest in a fury yesterday," Naruto told her sheepishly, making her deadpan at him. "Let's go to another area." "I'll help you collect herbs for him," Naruto told her, make her smile. "I can get some insights on his skills," Haku thought. "Are you a shinobi?" Haku questioned him. "What did it look like?" Naruto snarked at her, making her roll her eyes at him. "But isn't it dangerous? What if you get killed?" she questioned, feigning concern. The boy nearly took down Zabuza. "He wouldn't die easily." "Well, if I get killed that means I was meant to die. There's no use trying to escape my death, besides the moment I put this headband on, I was ready to die." Naruto lectured her softly. She looked at him with curious eyes. "Why do you fight? Do you fight for your precious people?" she asked him, and his thoughts immediately went to Satsuki, before going to I am Antuchi, and the third Hokage. "That's right. I fight to protect those who I care about, and those that can't protect themselves," Naruto stated firmly, but more to himself than her. She gazed at him with a look in her eyes akin to respect. "Then you will become strong. I believe that when one has somebody to protect, that's when they truly become strong," she told him, making him widen his eyes for a second, before he smiled at her. At Tazuna's house, everyone was eating breakfast, Naruto's stunt forgotten. "Has Naruto returned yet?" Satsuki asked Kakashi, who gazed at her. "No, not yet. I was going to get him after breakfast," Kakashi told her. "It's fine, I'll get him now, the idiot's going to miss breakfast," she told him, walking out the door, and everyone went back to eating. Satsuki sensed for Naruto's signature and located it a couple 100 meters away and ran over to his direction. She saw him talking to another girl, and making the black-haired girl giggle softly with one of his jokes. This made her feel slightly angry and jealous, for some reason. She wondered why she had those feelings. She observed them interact for a little longer, and when the girl left, Satsuki walked up to Naruto, glaring at him. "Who was that girl?" she demanded, making Naruto raise an eyebrow. "Why do you care?" he asked her suspiciously, making her blush a little, but she huffed and crossed her arms. "I don't, but it might be an enemy, so I should know these things." "Dobe," she told him angrily. "Oh really? 'Cause you're acting like a possessive girlfriend right now," Naruto teased her with a smirk, making her face turn red. It's nothing like that, Bibaka," she sputtered. Naruto took pity on the girl, so he stopped teasing her. "Her name was Haku, and she told me she was collecting herbs for a friend of hers." Naruto spoke. Satsuki narrowed her eyes for a second before she softened her gaze. "I was really worried about you yesterday, you know," she spoke softly, making him widen his eyes a little. "You shouldn't run off like that. What if she was an assassin, or if Zabuza himself came here?" She admonished him half-heartedly, but keeping her soft tone. Naruto was surprised. There weren't many people who cared for him this way, other than the Hokage. No one really paid attention to Naruto. Don't worry about me. If someone came at me with intentions to harm, they'd get a nasty surprise, he said with a wink, making her shake her head at him. They walked back together, chatting mindlessly, before Satsuki walked over to a lake and practiced her water walking, and Naruto went with Tazuna to guard him while he was building the bridge. The next morning, Naruto woke up to hear muffled screaming. He widened his eyes and grabbed a Hiraishin kunai that was sealed in his arm while running down the stairs, and he saw Tsunami being dragged away by two thugs while Inari was shouting at them to let her go. Naruto threw a kunai right above Tsunami's head, and in a yellow flash he knocked the two thugs out. Inari stood there wide-eyed, and Tsunami was already unconscious. When Inari directed his gaze to Naruto, Naruto smiled at him and ruffled his hair. You stood up to those thugs even though they were stronger than you, that makes you a hero, Inari. He told him softly, making Inari beam. Did the others already leave? Naruto asked Inari, and he nodded. Naruto grabbed those two and Shunshin to the corner of the bridge. He slit their throats to spare them the pain and tossed them over the bridge. He looked over and saw Kakashi fighting Zabuza, Sakura was guarding Tazuna, and Satsuki was inside a cage of ice? Ice release. Naruto thought. He sent a couple clones to assist Sakura and Kakashi, while the real him Shunshined inside the mirrors. He appeared in the nick of time too, to save Satsuki from being turned into a human pin cushion. Satsuki whipped her head to him the moment she felt his signature, and Naruto immediately noticed her eyes were red. One with a single tomo and the other with two, instead of onyx black. Congrats on awakening your Sharingan, Naruto congratulated her with a gentle smile, making her smirk back at him. Hello, Haku. Naruto said calmly, making Satsuki and Haku's eyes widen in shock. Nonetheless, she shook her head. Hello, Naruto-kun. Are you here to help Uchiha-san? Haku asked him, though already knowing the answer, and dreading it. As a matter of fact, I am, Naruto with a blank tone and an impassive gaze. How unfortunate, Haku replied in a similar tone. Well, let's get started, shall we? Naruto asked them, snapping Satsuki out of her stupor. She got in position along with Naruto, and Haku got her sunbon needles out. Thank you for watching the video, and comment down below if you want to see the next part. And of course, like, subscribe and turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next video.